You are listening to the Yummy Mummy Podcast, episode number 155.
Welcome to the Yummy Mummy Podcast, where you will learn brand new and shockingly different tools to lose weight for the last time. And now, here's your host, certified life and weight loss coach, Laura Conley.
Hello, Yummy Mummies. Let's talk about Halloween. If you are listening to this podcast the day that it comes out, then happy Halloween. To those who celebrate, we're talking about all things holidays and Halloween. Halloween is such a great kickoff time to start talking about this. So before we dive in, I'm recording this actually mid-October, and we'll start with a little fun factoid. I am about to celebrate my anniversary with my hubs, 15 years. OMG. I cannot believe we've been married for 15 years and we still like each other. Probably because of coaching. I would have to attribute our happy marriage, happy life to this happy wife. I tell you guys that all the time, right? If you ask my husband why he thinks it's amazing that I lost weight for the last time, he will tell you it's because I'm just nicer. I'm just so much nicer now. Not that I was like mean before, but he's like, you're just more relaxed. You're just nicer. You're just, oh, it's so great. I'm so happy for you. And I'm so happy for me. That's what he says. But we've been together for like almost 22 years. We were college sweethearts, and we are going to celebrate. We're going to just do a night away. We're going to go stay in Denver and go golfing and get massages and go out to a really nice dinner. And it's just going to be the best. We're going to go on a hike. So we've got like a 30-hour date. It's going to be so freaking fun. Typically, we'd like to go away, but we did that big trip to Italy. So I figured, a night in Denver, a little staycation is going to be perfect. But you know what's so funny? I'm like resisting the urge to tell you guys all the analogies that are there between marriage and your relationship with your body, right? A lot of you guys know that I teach true commitment, real commitment, right? Honoring your word no matter what, even when you're not perfect, right? Like, do you do that in your marriage? Like, my husband and I still fight. It's so annoying. I feel like a couple of years into our marriage, we'd get into these fights and then we'd solve the issue at hand. And then I would think, stupidly, that we were never going to get in a fight again. Right? It's it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. And that's actually what makes it so dynamic, right? And so special. We get to grow together. And the same is true if you take on the same commitment with yourself and your body and your health, right? I really love to use the marriage analogy. I don't get a divorce. I don't ask for a divorce every time we get in a fight. I don't, right? I don't throw in the towel on our marriage every time I don't do it perfectly. The same can apply for your relationship with yourself and your relationship to your body and food. I thought what would be really fun for a client comment before we dive into the Halloween and holidays content is a little chat. One of my clients asked in Slack, she was like, how does Noom compare? My friend is trying to decide between the two, but between the Yummy Mummy experience and Noom. Any obvious differences besides they don't have Laura? And then another client said, I did Noom and hated it. The group coaching was nothing like what the YMX offers. I gave up on it quickly. The food tracking system was a pain as well. She says, another client says, there wouldn't be an apples to apples comparison to Noom and YMX. It's more like comparing an apple to a skyscraper. This client says, one thing worth calling out about Noom, and I only dabbled slightly a few years ago with no success. They recently bought a digital health company so they could prescribe Ozempic. Weight Watchers did the same. These programs don't do the true root work, and they are jumping on the weight loss drug bandwagon to keep their businesses going. Other things I'd add, Root work is a big deal. It is the deal. And obviously that's what we do in the Yummy Mummy experience. Then she says, this group, I mean, y'all know this group is amazing. Any cohort that people join will be amazing like us in their own way. And then for those who choose to go on to masters, they get an even bigger group. The cheerleading support is an incredible benefit to me. And I don't know if Noom could create that because it's so mass produced. She says, Laura and Rose is my assistant coach. I should totally have her on the podcast too, by the way. And the others on the team that make this such an incredible personalized experience. She says the fact that it's so much more than just weight loss. We were coached on relationships, our parenting, our spouses, our jobs, our hobbies, etc. We are more than the sum of our parts. And I don't know that another weight loss group would create the space and container for all of those other things. She's like, I have a lot more to say. And then the clients just keep going on and on. Another client says the main reason Noom ultimately failed for me is because it's very tracking and counting heavy. There is so much freedom in YMX because I don't have to count anything. I don't count calories, points, macros, carbs, nothing. And then another client says, I'm a big fan of doing what works for you. And there are folks who lose weight with Noom. So do what works for you. But I have a lot of opinions. She says, I never got past the 7-day trial of Noom. I opened the account to figure out what it was about 3 years ago. She says, I wasn't impressed, but mostly because I know what diet mentality looks like, and the tracking was so heavy and the community so disjointed, like it was just a big forum. There is no easy way to develop intimate, vulnerable connection. And that is the key to having a truly supportive community that has you giving, receiving, and falling back on when you need it. There were also other things. I remember thinking this could get obsessive, like the food tracking and calorie counting and the way they color-coded foods, green, yellow, and red, as a way to say no food is off limits, but here's how we judge them. The lessons were also very educational, but not practical, applicable. I could see clients reading the lesson, get triggers, and then not really understanding how or why it was so hard to actually not give into a trigger 10 minutes later, even though they just learned about all of them and the science behind them in the little Loom lesson. Yeah, I think that's so true. Like the Yummy Mummy is really like how to apply it. She goes, don't get me started on the Noom coach. Again, that's nothing like the kind of coaching we do in here. Now, I say that, but for someone who has had no encouragement or support or had someone say good job to them in their journey, this is a very helpful part of the app. It just wouldn't compare to what we do here, which is freedom physically and mentally. Okay. This isn't to talk crap about Noom. It's just to show you that this is so new and different, and it's totally unlike anything else that exists out there. The community and the support that you get is amazing. So I just wanted to do the client comment in a little bit of a different way. We just closed doors on October 24th for the October 24th/October cohort. If you're dying to get in, email us at Laura@LauraConley or team@lauraconley.com, and we might be able to get you in the back door. Otherwise, you can go to Otherwise, you can go to lauraconley.com and get yourself on the interest list or the wait list for the January cohort. Okay, so let's dive in. It is Halloween. So we're going to talk about like before Halloween or before the big meal or the big event or the big holiday party or the big Thanksgiving. And then we're going to talk about the after. So what to do in the before and then what to do in the after. Okay. First and foremost, I want you to think about, like, if you're listening to this on Halloween and you know you're going to go trick-or-treating with your kids later, ask yourself, how do I want to feel tomorrow morning? Pick one word. Maybe light, alive, energized, zesty. Then create a plan and write it down. This is going to take you a minute, 2 minutes max. Create a plan of how you are going to behave so that you can feel that way tomorrow. So your plan could be like, maybe your favorite candy is like Reese's peanut butter cups. Maybe you have like 2 Reese's peanut butter cups or 1. have one thing or have nothing. If you don't really love it, then don't have it. It's not worth it, right? Or pick one or two things. Like, you want to think about how you want to feel tomorrow. And you also want to think about how you want to feel the next day and how you want to feel in your cute little outfit for so-and-so's birthday on November 15th, right? I always say, like, how are you going to feel in 5 minutes after you make the decision to eat the thing? How are you going to feel 5 days and 5 months and 5 years? So create your plan. What are you going to do? What is your plan going to be for this evening or for whatever the event is? Then honor your plan. Shocker. Honor your plan, but expect that you may want more candy or more pumpkin spice beer or a second pumpkin spice latte or whatever. Like, we make these plans and then we expect that it's just going to be easy and we're just going to want to follow them. It's sometimes that happens, but I also want you to plan for you to not want to follow your plan. We get to that moment, we're like, oh, I don't want to follow this. It's like, yeah, I know it's a little uncomfortable because you're not getting that hit, the drug of sugar. And that's okay. What I want to offer to you in that moment is it's okay. Be willing to be a little bit uncomfortable and breathe through it and talk to yourself really nicely and really sweetly. Like, when you are uncomfortable in that moment because you're not going to allow yourself to have the second Reese's peanut butter cup, talk to yourself like you would your kid. Like, oh my God, my kid wanted, like last night, he wanted more ice cream cake. It was his birthday. He wanted more ice cream cake. He's like, please, please, please. I'm like, I know you want more. Of course you want more. And no, and I love you. And let's like go play with your new remote control car, right? That's how you can talk to yourself as well. Really, like, stupid nice to yourself. Don't be like, what's wrong with you? Why can't you ever honor your word? You shouldn't want this. No. Do not fight with yourself. Love yourself. I want you to really focus on the true pleasures that Halloween and all of these other holidays bring. Because when you're focused on the true pleasures, not the false pleasures, right? A true pleasure is something that you enjoy, that is pleasurable for you, that gives you a net positive in your life. Like connection, like laughing with your kids, like having fun getting dressed up, like saying hi to the neighbors as you're trick-or-treating. So I want you to focus on what Halloween is really about. Of course, you get to decide what Halloween is really about, but I would make your life about things that are supportive to you, right? So like I said, being spooky, playing a trick, carving some pumpkins, right? So like, how can you get into the other aspects of the holidays? These holidays are about so much more than just food and treats. It's just that our culture, our society has decided, no, it's about just the treats, like first and foremost, because they know they can make a lot of money doing that, right? But what if we refocused on the true pleasure, right? On just like taking pictures with our kids or watching our kid look at themselves in the mirror the first time they put their costume on. So get into the real true pleasure and have fun with what it's about. Like, what is Halloween about? It's about dressing up and having fun with your family and your friends. What's Thanksgiving about? It's about connection and community and love and gratitude. Like, what is Christmas or another holiday? Insert any holiday that you celebrate. About giving and receiving and just being together. It doesn't have to be about the food, right? The food can take a back seat for once. Like, just 1 year. Let's just try. Okay. To recap, how do I want to feel tomorrow? Make a plan that supports that. Honor your plan. Expect that your plan might not be super easy. Talk really nicely to yourself. Take a deep breath and just move on and focus on the things that the holiday is really about. Okay. Now, let's switch gears here. What if you're listening to this on November 1st? Now, don't use this part of the podcast against yourself. Don't use this part of the podcast to be like, oh, well, Laura's going to give me a solution for rating my kid's pillowcase or pumpkin basket or whatever. Say it's November 1st and you wake up and you're like, oh my God, you had too much. You overdid it. Maybe you had too many pumpkin spice martinis. I don't know if that's really a thing. I want you to remind yourself that it's okay. Not like in let yourself off the hook. It's okay. Like people be like, oh, I'm just going to give myself grace. I'm just going to like put my head in the sand. It's okay. And you can see what happened. You can see what went on there so that the next holiday event that comes up, you can actually glean from the Reese's Pieces splurge. We've been talking a lot about this inside the Yummy Mummy experience. Like you're either winning or you're learning. Okay. So if you ate too much, according to you, no one else gets to decide what that means. If you ate too much for you or you went off of your plan or whatever, it's okay. And it's an opportunity to learn. You're either winning or you're learning. Okay. Not, you're never failing. Because that's what we do. And like with our diet brains are like, oh, we failed. So that means I failed. So that means I suck. Just ask yourself, hey, what happened there? And like actually find the answer. What went on? Right? In order to learn from this, we have to look back, but with love, without beating ourselves up. We can't really solve anything, especially our food situations, without first loving ourselves. Like we used to think, and now you guys are going to have your minds blown. We used to think that there were only two options when we ate off plan or we ate too much, or however you want to phrase that. Option one, put your head in the sand, ignore it, keep going, or beat yourself up and then eventually throw in the towel on whatever your plan is. There's a third option. This is just looking back. I call it looking back with love inside the Yummy Mummy experience. And we learn how to do it and we learn how to apply it. But that's really what I'm teaching here is, hey, what went on there? With love, without judgment. Your brain will not want to do this. Your brain will want to beat you up. I want you to really just slow down and take a deep breath when you're asking yourself, hey, what happened with the Reese's incident? I want you to vow right here and right now. I mean, you might as well. Whatever today's date is, say it out loud to yourself. Today is the day that I decide that I no longer beat myself up for choices in the past, but I learn from them with love. It's like how we parent our children, right? It's like, how can we teach them without shaming them? I think that's like huge, right? How can we teach ourselves without shaming ourselves? We've already tried shaming ourselves. If it worked, it would have worked by now. It does not work. You beating yourself up for your choices doesn't work. Let's just try love. Maybe just for this year. I mean, I recommend it for forever, but I want you to pinky promise me you don't beat yourself up ever again. I like to say, like, if I'm being the mom that I want to be, I would say to my kid or to myself, I love you. Nothing you ever do can change that, right? Again, this part might be uncomfortable for you if you've never offered yourself love. You can say, I know you ate more than you wanted because you were feeling like you just wanted comfort or fun or stress relief or fill in the blank. It's okay to want that, but it's not okay to not keep our word to ourselves. We're learning. This takes time. Food doesn't actually relieve stress or give us real comfort or real fun, even though food tells you that. It's all going to be okay. We're still going to get what we want, our natural weight. In fact, this is a necessary part of the process. We actually can't get there without this learning and living part. It's so good, you guys. I really want you to offer yourself a paragraph like that. Then I want you to make a plan for next time. Exactly how do we want to think and feel and act next time, right? So maybe like this Saturday you have a party coming up. Let's decide now. You guys, your plan should always be doable, but it should always be in the name of your future. So do not live in the land of over restriction. What is doable? What makes sense for me that I know I can honor and follow through on and will help me get to my ultimate goal, whether that's your natural weight or whatever else you're working on. Then I want you to eat a healthy, nourishing meal, okay? Like, don't try to over restrict today. Just eat a healthy, nourishing meal and like go for a walk or do a workout, or like if you're really in a shame spiral, or like take a shower or like a cold shower, or like change it up, like get it out of your system, like fresh start it, right? This is exactly what we do in the Yummy Mummy experience. Real habit change. This is honestly, you guys, real habit change, like at the root. That's why I'm crazy about looking back and learning, like what happened there? Why did I overeat? There's always a reason. Do not let your brain offer you, I don't know. There's always a reason. Go find it. I promise you will find one, and you can use that in your plan for next time. This is not about being perfect. This is about creating a practice. You're going to be practicing this for like ever. But the majority of the forever, you will be at your dream come true weight, right? It takes 6 months or a year to lose this weight and for the last time, but then it's still a practice after that. Come practice inside the Yummy Mummy. If you want to sneak in to the October cohort, why the hell not? Email us, laura@lauraconley.com. You can even email team@lauraconley.com, and we'll see if we can sneak you in. I love you so much. Otherwise, go to lauraconley.com and sign up for the interest list. We might be full because I'm recording this in the middle of October, so I have no idea. Okay. I love you. Please leave a rate, a review, a follow. It would make my heart sing. I actually just got one in today, and it really lights me up. So if you want to make my day, do that. I'll see you inside the Yummy Mummy experience. Have the best holiday season ever, the best weekend ever, and stay tuned, you guys. I am going to be doing a masterclass on Ho 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 Hot for the holidays. Yep, that's the name of the masterclass. It's going to be on Sunday, November 26th in the evening. Just keep your ears peeled for that. It's going to be super, super fun. Okay, I love you. That's what I got for you. I will see you next week. Bye. Hey, if you've enjoyed listening to this podcast, I would love it if you leave a rate, review, and a subscribe on whatever you're listening to this podcast in. Pretty pleased with a cherry on top. It would help me so much, and it would help all the other mamas out there hear this message. Thank you in advance. I really appreciate it. And you have to come check out the Yummy Mummy experience. It's my proven lose weight for the last time group coaching and course. Head to lauraconley.com and just click work with me. Other than that, you guys, I would love to give you a free gift. If you want your free listener only gift, go to lauraconley.com/gift. And from there, you will get your free best ever weight loss hack. So cool. The last thing I want to tell you, you guys, is I do have a free Facebook group. It's called, you guessed it, the Yummy Mummy. Lose weight for the last time, end body drama, and get food freedom. You can just search that in Facebook, or again, you can head to the show notes and you'll find the link there. All right, you guys, have the best day ever.